it's that time to start wrapping this Vauxhall Corsa. Yeah, we're wrapping the whole thing.
And you're probably asking yourself, have I ever done this before? Well, the short answer is no. I've never even tinted a window. The only thing I've done vinyl wise on a car is lay a sun strip, and that went really well, so maybe that's where the confidence has come from. But in the last video, we managed to finally lay one of the panels on the car. And it didn't go too bad. The only bits I was kind of struggling on was trying to tuck the corners, but we have got a bit of a solution for that. As you guys know, this is my first ever attempt at wrapping. It went well, but I think there's little bits where I can actually improve on. So we're going to start trimming this round. I want to trim around here as well, just to make sure it's the best it can possibly be. I have gone ahead and bought myself some more wrapping gear. I just picked up off Amazon this little kind of wrapping kit. There's a tucking tool in there. There's a wrap vinyl cutter in there as well. Let me open this and see what I've actually got, which will probably most likely help us doing all these bits. So we've got like a trimming tool, which is like a sharper blade than a standing knife for trimming the wrap, which is something I really did need. That comes with a few extra blades, which is good. This is a tucking tool. We're definitely going to need this getting tucked behind all the panel gaps and stuff like that. That is an absolute must. That's probably the reason I ordered this whole kit. And then we've got another tucking tool and an extra squeegee, which is quite flexible, which is a good thing. So we've got all the gear. We have no idea. Let's see what we can do. Now, although I'm not aiming for perfection with this, I thought I could give this wing a little bit of a touch up and make it just look that extra bit better. I think this is the best I'm going to get this panel. I have tried trimming it the best I can around the wheel arch. Bear in mind that there is like the plastic trim to go on that. I've tried my best tucking the corners. Look, it is not the best job, but that's as much as I can do. This corner is a little bit better. If you look closely, there is a little imperfection. The indicator's gone in all right. Everything's tucked around where the wing meets the door. That is my first attempt, and that is the best I think I'm going to get it. Now I want to try something that everyone in the comments has been telling me to do since I got my trusty old heat gun, and that is see if we can get these horrible old looking plastic panels back to black. And apparently doing it with a heat gun weirdly puts them back to black, so I guess let's find out. It's just not really done anything, to be honest. It's pretty much the same colour as it was when I took it off the car, but I think with that we should probably just spray them black just so they tie in a lot nicer with the wheel arch. Obviously with this being a little bit grey, let's see if we can just line this up where it will kind of sit. With that being grey, it obviously does cover up where we've trimmed. Not the best job there, but what can I actually do? Unless I trim it a little bit more, which I might just do. I might just trim down there a little bit more so you haven't got the wrinkles behind there. But with these going on, I think they just look a lot better in like a gloss or a satin black. So maybe we should go out and get some plastic primer and see if we can make them look a lot better. After putting that trim on and seeing that you could still see the creases in the vinyl just behind it, I took it upon myself to try my hardest to make it that little bit better. I guess this is all about learning how to wrap and how to use vinyl. So I heated it back up and stretched the creases out of the vinyl. I'm happy with that. Let's get on with the other side. We're starting off with the clay bar, because if there's one thing I've learned so far, that is that it's all in the prep work. The better you prep the panel, the better the results. It's actually mad how smooth a panel can get just after you've clay barred it. This panel is really smooth. The only problem I think I'm going to come to, which I don't know if you can actually see, is there's kind of like ripples in the paint. I don't know, it's not showing very well on camera, but there's kind of like dots in the paint. I don't know if it's ever been resprayed before or not, but I'm hoping that doesn't show through the vinyl. But at the end of the day, it is a Corsa, it is a learning car, and I guess we've got to work with what we've got. Let's get some vinyl out and let's get some wrapping done. And just like that, we're back to wrapping, and I can honestly say that the more I'm doing this, the more I'm starting to learn how this vinyl works. I think the best way to do it is heating the vinyl up and trying to stretch it as much as you can without even using a squeegee. That way there's not as much air underneath it, and it just makes wrapping a whole lot easier. We're actually on a roll. This panel hasn't turned out too bad at all. It's probably a little bit better than the other side, but I guess it just goes to show that the more you try, the more you know. The only problem is you can kind of see where the rippling of the paint underneath is coming through. But guys, like I said in the last video, this is a Corsa, not a Bugatti Veyron. It doesn't matter too much as long as it looks good from a few meters away. So I think the next step is the bonnet. Again, an absolute massive thank you to Ravuni for actually providing this vinyl. It would not be possible without them. The colour is absolutely amazing. I'm really am a big fan of the colour. I hope we don't run out, but if we do, I'm hoping they could send us some more out just to get the whole car done. The next step is the bonnet, so this is a big panel. Looking at the bonnet, you'd honestly think that it'd be one of the easiest panels to wrap, being such a flat panel. Well, it didn't really go that way, and you're gonna have to carry on watching to find out why. But having done the 2 wings, it's made me feel like I could probably apply for a job at Yanamai's, get the job and be the best in the business. But I soon realised it is definitely not like that. Wrapping takes so much skill, so much time and so much patience, and I honestly do take my hat off to anyone that does this for a living. They're definitely talented. Back onto the clay barring, and after half of the bonnet is done, you can see here on the clay how much stuff has actually come off that bonnet that you wouldn't have been able to see with the normal eye. That's one half of the bonnet clay barred. We've still got the other half to do, but I thought I'd show you the difference between non-clay barred and clay barred, because I'm actually well impressed that it works this well. So this is obviously the side that we've clay barred. There's absolutely, it's very smooth. That's just my knuckles kind of on the, but then the side that hasn't been clay barred, as you can hear, it sounds awful, and you can just hear all that, well, I don't know whether it's overspray or tar that is stuck on that bonnet. So it is definitely worth, if you're doing a wrapping job yourself, it is definitely worth clay barring it beforehand. Let's do the other side. And there you go, the proof is in the pudding. So I'm really glad that I decided to start doing this clay barring before I started wrapping, because if not, maybe all that debris would have showed through the vinyl. Before I actually get started with wrapping the bonnet, I'm just going to make sure that all the underside is obviously clean, because when I took this is at the front of the car, I don't want it to lift up, so I'm just going to do all the out edges of the bonnet and make sure they're all nice and clean, ready to wrap. Millie! And after doing that, I was ready to start laying the vinyl, and I soon started to realise the bigger the panel, the harder the job. This didn't go half as well as I imagined it in my head, and I just couldn't figure out how to get the whole panel laid without creases or air bubbles. I knew it was going far too well. I'm proper struggling with the bonnet. I've not struggled like this on any of the wings except this bonnet. I just can't seem to get rid of this kink. Like, I'll just keep moving it along, heating it up, stretching it, and the kink will carry on going. I don't know if I've just got to kind of bear with that around the whole car, but this is obviously the part that costs so much with the wrapping, because it generally is a skill. Anyone that can wrap a car, I honestly take my hats off to you. It is not easy at all. This bonnet is proper testing me, but I guess this is probably one of the biggest panels we've got to do. I'm just struggling to get rid of all these creases. Every time I lay the vinyl flat, it just starts creasing in the middle, for example, like there. It will just crease, and then I've got to lift it up again and redo it, and it's just getting annoying now, but we'll carry on. We won't let it beat us, and yeah. Okay, we're gonna give this another go. I got this far with the bonnet yesterday, and all I'm getting is a load of creases. I spent probably the most of my evening watching videos on how to wrap, and I've found out that the best way to do this is doing what they call glassing, and that means getting the wrap as stretched as it'll possibly go before you actually start squeegeeing, and I think that's where I've gone wrong. What I did is, instead of actually glassing it, I just started squeegeeing it down. That way the wrap couldn't then stretch and glass out as much. So I think I might be able to carry on using this piece. I'm hoping that I haven't wasted it. I just need to perfect it. So let's fingers crossed, see if we can kind of revive this sheet and not waste it. And after trying, stretching, heating, and more stretching and more heating, I just couldn't seem to get this bonnet laid. I think I need 2 people for this job. I don't think this piece is salvageable. It's ripped here. It's just, this piece hasn't gone. This is the first time I've got to the point where I'm like, this is actually difficult. So I think this one, we're just gonna have to cut our losses and start again. But we'll get there, Okay, the bonnet is stripped. I'm gonna give it another go. I have learned, and hopefully this time we can get it spot on. It's just a little bit intricate, obviously having to stretch it down these bits that kind of go. I mean, here is literally, it kind of goes at a complete different angle, but we will get that done. But I'm going to have a break from that for a second. People have been telling me in the comment section that these side trims for the doors actually do come off. With a little bit of heat and a little bit of time, you can actually get them off. And I think this panel shouldn't be too bad to wrap, with it being pretty much a flat panel. So the doors should be okay. I am going to put a join line in here though, just so I'm not having to do this whole panel, because that would be just a big job to do that whole panel. But if I just put a little join line in there, maybe take this wing mirror off, I'm not sure, might be able to get away with not doing that, but I think we should be okay. So first things first, I'm going to do my best at getting these kind of trims off. Unfortunately, I don't think I am going to get the whole car wrapped. It's already Wednesday and we've only just got, well, to where we are. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get it all wrapped in one video, but I'm going to get as much done as I can. Let's see if we can get these off. Buzzing. They do in fact come off. All we've got to do now is just get rid of the sticky residue that's left over. But them coming off makes it a lot easier. I didn't want them on anyway. It gives it a lot nicer look when they're off. It just looks smooth. So let's get these off, go do the other side, and then we'll probably just give the bonnet another go. So I think I need 2 people to wrap this bonnet. So we've gave good old Baz a call. He's going to help me try, and it's just knowing when to stretch it, knowing when to like pull it, and knowing which way to pull it and stuff. We're going to see if we can get it done with 2 people. I've watched countless YouTube videos on how to do it, so I'm pretty much a professional rapper now. So we'll see if we can get it done. Now with Baz on the case, it has made it twice as easy. Having someone to pull the vinyl in the opposite direction I'm pulling just enables me to glass it a lot better. Guys, a massive thank you to Baz. If you could give him a follow on TikTok and leave a comment and say that you guys came from this video, that'd be massively appreciated. And just when we thought all hope was lost, apparently Baz is an absolute natural at wrapping. We've managed to get the bonnet done. All I'm doing now is just tucking it around, then I'm going to trim it all. But the bonnet is done. We found that was quite hard, wasn't it, Baz? Yeah. Little bit difficult. I feel like it's because how much curvature is on the bonnet. It really does kind of curve. But also, by the way, the lights are arriving tomorrow. Yes. So I'm going to tuck it all now, and then we'll drop the bonnet and see how it looks. But honestly, I would not have been able to do this without Baz. He picked up a squeegee. Next minute, off he goes, Yanomizing it. So yeah, I'm going to trim it down, and then we'll see what it looks like. And that is the bonnet done. And I've got to say, for 2 people that have never wrapped a car before, it actually turned out really well. I'm pretty sure there is not one crease or one bubble in the entire bonnet, and for a panel that big, I'm pretty sure that is quite difficult for someone that has never wrapped a bonnet before. I'll be real, that bit really did test my patience. A massive thank you again to Baz for coming and helping out. He is pretty much a natural. We learnt that heating up the vinyl and then properly stretching it to glass it is honestly the best way of doing this. I'm going to come straight out tomorrow and wrap the eyelids, because I definitely think they need to go green. They just look a little bit odd being black, so we'll wrap them. Tomorrow we have also got the new lighting arriving, so we can stay out here till late and you guys will actually be able to see me. So it's going well. We've got the front bumper to do, which I'm not looking forward to, but I'm also looking forward to testing my skills so far. We're probably going to be doing that inside so we don't get it all cold and it go all weird. So yeah, I guess on to the next day, which will be tomorrow, and we'll carry on wrapping. Okay, the bonnet is actually looking really good. It ain't perfect, no, but is it the best we could get it? Yes, and that's all we are aiming for. Again, thank you to Baz. I've had to think about the eyelids, and I'm thinking maybe just to take them off. I don't think they go kind of very well with the green, and they're not the same shade of gloss that the wing mirrors and the roof are, so I'm thinking maybe just to take them off completely. They're a little bit of a chavvy mod anyway, so I think if we take the eyelids off, I think this car would look a lot more kind of classy a little bit. It's a Corsa. It's probably not going to look classy, but it'll look better. Also, I've installed the LED lights. They're looking amazing, so we can stay up and work out here till whatever time we want now, because we've got 2 floodlights in this gazebo. Massive thank you to Rock Awnings. Massive thank you. Right, let's get these eyelids off.
Yeah, I personally think that looks 10 times better. It just looks less chavvy. I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, definitely. I just think the car just looks a lot better without them eyelids. I know they were a good mod to do before, but I just don't think they're going to be suiting this colour wrap. Next is the door. I'm hoping today that we can get both the doors done, and then later tonight maybe bring the bumper inside and actually start wrapping the front bumper. That way the whole front end of this car can go back on and it is completely done. The only thing we have left to do then is just the rear quarter, which may be a little bit of a pain, but the rear quarter, and then obviously the boot and the rear bumper, and then that's pretty much the car done. I guess we better just carry on. Starting with the passenger side door, I think what we're better off doing is taking the wing mirror off, just so we can get a nice tuck and cut line behind the plastic. That way we won't have any imperfections when it comes to cutting the vinyl.
I think all I've got to do is pull. Well, I guess that works as well. Whether that was meant to come disconnected, I'm not sure, but it still connects back in. So now we've got access to these bolts and we can take the wing mirror off. Easy job, that makes my life a lot easier. Let's get it off.
And the more I work on this Corsa, the more I'm actually realising Vauxhalls are pretty easy to work on. 3 bolts and the wing mirror comes off as easy as that. To be honest, just by doing that, it has made things a lot easier. I can now tuck the wrap under there and make sure I can get a nice cut line. That's a real good job. I'm hoping that I might be able to get these trims out. If not, I should be able to heat the wrap up, tuck it under this rubber seal, and then get a nice cut line. I do think it's best for me to probably do this door in 2 sections, so we'll put a nice little cut line here and then do this bit in a complete separate section. I think I would be able to do it. It does seem pretty easy, but for the fact of wasting vinyl in case I didn't get it right, I think it's best if we just do it in 2 parts. Let's crack on and find out. And they are going to be my famous last words, and you're going to have to find out why in a minute. But back onto the clay barring to make sure we can get the panel prepped the best we possibly can.
Do you know what? I think I might just give this a go in 1 panel. Instead of doing 2 join lines, I think I might just give it a go. If it goes wrong, I can always cut it and then do the other half. But I think I've got a big enough piece of vinyl that I've already cut for the door to be able to actually cover this whole door. Obviously, we're going to be cutting around the door handle. They're just going to stay black. Guys, you really think I can wrap a door handle? I've wrapped a bonnet and 2 wings. I'm not going to have a go at the door handle. But I am going to give it a go doing the whole door on its own. Let's see how it goes.
And again, by taking my time and letting the vinyl do the work for me, with a bit of stretching and a bit of heating, I managed to get the whole door laid with pretty minimum effort. Well, after about an hour and a half / 2 hours, I've finally actually got the door fully laid. Now it's the important part of trimming it and hoping that I don't trim it too short. Let's replay that clip. And hoping that I don't trim it too short. Yeah, that is exactly what I did. Because I completely forgot to take the window trims out as I was getting a little bit excited with wrapping this car, I cut the vinyl too short where the rubber meets the window, and I completely ruined the entire panel. I did try to save it by doing half and half, but I just couldn't figure out how to use the knifeless tape in time, and it just all went completely wrong.
I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. That it has saved so much messing around, because you see here, well, what I've done is I've taken all the window trim out, so where the window kind of seats into the...
Did you not think to do that?
Yeah, but I just didn't do it. I thought, oh no, I'll be okay, I'll be able to trim it perfect. This comes out as well, so now I might just redo the whole door, and with that I can now trim it from the inside so it's all wrapped and you won't be able to see any black at all. I think that's my best option, just to restart on this one and cut my losses and go again, because I really want to get it done 1 whole panel. Shall I go again?
Yeah.
Right, I'm not going to record it. It's going to be done in 3, 2, in 3, 2, 1. I'll be honest, I think I'm trying to perfect it too much. I'm trying to make it look like it's a customer's car or something, when I need to remind myself it is a Corsa. What's the time? It is 7:30 at night. But look at that, man. The door is on and I am absolutely buzzing with it. I proper took my time. How long have I been doing this one panel? I think this one door this time has took me 3 hours, but we've literally got no creases at all. I mean, I'd be happy laying that on a Ferrari, I really would. Trimmed round the door handle, not perfect, but as close as it can bloody be, if I'm honest. All the trims under here, around the wing mirror, literally not a single crease. Got all the trims back in, all the window goes up and down again, and the wing mirror is on. Absolutely buzzing with that panel. That's probably the best panel I've done so far. In fact, it is the best panel I've done so far. Well happy with it. And unfortunately, that is all we've got time for. Tomorrow I've got an event on, so I can't stay out here and be wrapping all day. But we are getting there. Next episode, we are going to be completing the whole car. That is without a doubt. The bumpers, maybe not the trims, but definitely the wrapping side of it. We will make sure that the whole car is complete. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.